The Slender Man is an alleged paranormal figure reported to have been in existence for centuries, covering a large geographic area. Believers in the Slender Man tie his appearance in with many other legends around the world, including Vierde, or the Dark Man in Scotland, the Dutch Taken Man, Branch Man, and the German legend of Der Große Mann, or Der Große Man, or Der Gross Man, the Tall Man. The Slender Man is a being male in appearance who looks like a man with extremely long, slender arms and legs. He also appears to have 4 to 8 long black tentacles that protrude from his back. Though different photographs and enthusiasts disagree on this fact, and therefore it is theorized he can't contract these tentacles at will. He is described as wearing a black suit, strikingly similar to the visage of the notorious Men in Black. Visage of notorious Men in Black. And as the name suggests, appear very thin and able to stretch his limbs and torso into inhuman lengths in order to introduce fear and ensnare his prey. Once his arms are outstretched, his victims are put into something hypnotic state, where they are utterly helpless to stop themselves from walking into them. He is also able to create tendrils from his fingers and back that he uses to walk in a similar fashion to Dr. Octopus from the Marvel series. The superhuman stretching ability could also be seen as similar between himself and Mr. Fantastic, also from a Marvel series. Whether he absorbs, kills, or merely takes his victims to an undisclosed location or dimension is also unknown, and there are never any bodies or evidence left behind in his wake to deduce a definite conclusion. His face is pale and slightly ghosty, and almost appears to have been wrapped in a type of gauze or cloth. His facial features are also an object of debate. Many people believe that his face looks different to each person if it is seen at all. He is sometimes portrayed as a man who wears a hat, which is sometimes a bowler, a fedora, or a top hat. He may also be seen wearing long gray flowing necktie or scarf, which is either red or gray. He often keeps his long pale hands crossed politely behind his back or hanging loosely at his sides. His suit is black, sometimes portrayed as a pinstripe suit in artwork. A common misconception, thanks to the very similar Jack Skellington from the Nightmare Before Christmas, he has also long cottontails which he lets flow proudly. He wears long dress shoes which are always shined in a perfect gleaming black. Much of the fascination with Slender Man is rooted in the overall aura of mystery that he is wrapped in. Despite the fact that it is rumored he kills children almost exclusively, it is difficult to say whether or not his only objective is to slaughter. Oftentimes, it is either reported or recorded that he can be found in sections of the woods, and these generally tend to be suburban. He also has been reported seen with large groups of children, as many photographs portray. It is commonly thought that he resides in woods and forests and prey on children. He seems unconcerned with being exposed in daylight or captured in photos. It is often thought as well that he enjoys stalking people who become overly paranoid about his existence, purposely giving them glimpses of himself in order to further frighten them. For this reason, it seems like Slender Man very much enjoys psychologically torturing his victims. He also often appears to float or drift around rather than walk, which suggests the possibility of him being an ethereal being rather than a creature or a man. This would also explain why he is able to remain mobile in spite of his poor proportioned body. even though Slender Man was fabricated on something awful forms, or was he? Ooh, spooky. Some people have already claimed sightings. He is mostly at night, peering into open windows and walks out in front of lone motorists on secluded roads. His main intentions appear to be kidnapping children, as when he is seen near them in photographs, they usually disappear shortly afterwards. The Slender Man has also inspired many stories, such as those of Marble Hornets, the YouTube channel. In the end, though, his purpose remains unknown. An interesting take on Slender Man by a Pasta member who is relying on the Marble Hornet series for evidence and facts. Air quotes. There has been a big misconception about my pal the Slender Man due to the appearance of this article. He does not have hair or face. Everything else is correct. There's also some questioning as to whether or not there is more than one. I find that unlikely. It's most likely Slendy fucking with your head in order to make you think that there's more than one, which he has been known to do. As of now, Slendy has 3 or 4 more known accomplices. These are Hoodie, Masky, the Rake, and possibly the Observer. Not much is known yet because the next episode of Noah Maxwell ARG has not yet been released. In the Marble Hornets series, Hoodie and Masky are possibly his followers. In the Everyman Hybrids arc, the Rake seems to be working with him, but we aren't really sure if that's true or not. The earliest argued reference to the legend is within the cave paintings found in Ser da Capivara National Park in northeast Brazil, which are believed to date from as far back as 19,000 before Christ. These paintings show a strangely elongated character leading a child by the hand, but makes no reference to the extra appendages. The next known possible reference to the Slender Man comes from around 3,100 BC in Lower Egypt, with references to those thief of the gods or thief of the kook, becoming commonplace during the region of the Pharaoh Wasner. Hieroglyphic carvings represent the thief were found in the pharaoh's tomb, who was rumored to have some kind of encounter with the entity. The carvings resemble a strange figure with multiple upper limbs, one that has never been found in any other hieroglyphic language. Renowned German woodcutter Hans Frankenberg created at least 2 woodcuts featuring a character he describes as Der Reiter, the Knight. During the mid-16th century, that were discovered in Halzenberg Castle in 1883. Willis Frankenberg was well known for his realistic depiction of human anatomy, something that was unusual among woodcuts of the time. These pictures feature a skeletal, multi-limbed character. Historians are unsure of the exact symbolic nature of the character, with some claiming that it is a personification of the religious wars that raged in Europe at the time, while others say it represents the mysterious plagues that have been believed to be the reason for the mysterious abandoning of Haltenberg Castle and a nearby village in 1543. However, many insist that Frankenberg was attempting to represent Der Grobman, the tall man, according to the legend. He was a fairy who lived in a black forest. Bad children who crept in the woods at night would be relentlessly chased by Der Grobman, who wouldn't leave them until either caught them or they were forced to tell their parents of their wrongdoing. Even then, there is a chilling account from an old journal dating from about 1702. My child, my Lars, he is gone, taken from his bed. The only thing that we found was a scrap of black clothing. It feels like cotton, but it is softer, thicker. Lars came into my bedroom yesterday, screaming at the top of the of his lungs. The angel is outside. I asked him what he was talking about, and he told me some nonsense about fairy story about the groveman. He said he went into the groves by our village and found one of my cows dead hanging from a tree. I thought nothing of it at first, but now he is gone. We must find Lars. I and my family must leave before we are killed. I am sorry, my son. I should have listened. May God forgive me.